I am Werner von Braun. This motion picture was produced to enable you to experience more personally and vividly the most dramatic events of the Apollo 11 story. The pictures and sounds are real, recorded in real time, where the action really was. So, come with us. We are going to the moon.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's not good. No, no, no.
Okay, what's up? This is StonerTheory with Lexi Wright, and this is my new series called StonerTheory, and what I'm doing is I'm solving the biggest conspiracy theories that we can't figure out, what we can't find the truth on. Like, for the instance, the first one I'm solving is the moon landing, and we're going to bust that today. We're going to solve that conspiracy theory today. So along with solving the conspiracy theory, we're also smoking weed because it's StonerTheory. So you can follow me on my social media down here, Facebook, TikTok, and here on YouTube. You can subscribe down below, and you can like the video, so that way you can keep up to date with the truth. Alright, let's get into solving the theory.
July 1969, and three men blast off for a journey that would make history. Within days, two of the three astronauts aboard Apollo 11 would become the first humans to walk on the surface of the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And as America prepares to mark the 40th anniversary of that moonwalk, we've been given the best look yet at what exactly happened 200,000 miles away. This is the footage we know so well of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Alright, so the first thing we're gonna bust is the camera. The footage recorded in space. Like the moon landing. How in the world were we able to record in 1969? 1970s, let alone close to 1970, it was not good enough. Our technology was not good enough at that time period, like it is now in 2020. We can probably, maybe, do something with, because we have like such good technology now that we can probably do something close to traveling to the moon. But in 1969, there's no way, because the camera, the pressure in space, it would smash that freaking camera. In 1970 it was these big giant cameras. Yeah, I understand that, but it was like, still, it would be small in space because it's weightless, and it's how we know it's weightless. I mean, we don't know. And it's just common sense, really. I mean, because depression in space would smash that camera to pieces. It would not survive in space. We would be unable to film. And how are we able to transmit the footage back to the NASA like that? How? Explain that one to me, because there's really no way in 1969 that we were able to do something like that. NASA probably just filmed it in their little studio somewhere for some reason. Because, I mean, it was a thing with, like, other countries. Like, we wanted to be the first to land on the moon. We wanted to beat them to it. So they probably were like, okay, we're going to fake it here in our studio and say we went to the moon. I mean, you can say you did stuff. I mean, really. And then we wouldn't be able to see the footage from Earth like that. The signal would be very, very weak if there was any signal. I mean, there's no way we'd have a freaking million-foot cord attached to the camera while it's traveling from Earth to space. I mean, what cord would be that long to help the signal reach? The 1969 technology isn't as good as 2020 technology. So now we're going to move on to the moon itself. It's huge. It's a big, giant circle. It's, how do we know for sure what it looks like? I mean, all we see from Earth is kind of like a yellowish tint, whitish light source, so it's a circle. And it's just really, I mean, we have cameras like the one I'm using here, and it's like, to record this, we have these lenses that we can reach up there and we can take pictures of the moon. So, I mean, yeah, we do see like these craters and like these like rock-like stuff, like it's said to look like back then. But I mean, that's just what we can see. I mean, from the lenses on the camera. I don't think we ever really traveled up there. And really, it's like it could be a ball of rock textured light. That's basically all it is, and it could actually be hot, like temperature wise, it could be hot. I mean, how do we know it's cold? I mean, like, because it's light, and if you touch a light bulb, you get heat from it, so I mean, wouldn't the moon be hot too? I mean, really? And yeah, it's like way up here away from the sun, but the sun's heating up Earth. Wouldn't it be able to heat up the moon too? I mean, it's kind of like thoughts there, like, wait, think about this.
The sun's reflecting off the moon.
Yeah.
So if it's reflecting all light, it's probably not cold.
And there's these pictures that I'm going to be showing you. Look at this picture here. Somebody caught this creature-looking thing moving around on the Earth. I mean, it's a picture, so I mean, it's not moving, but other living things could live on the moon, really. I mean, it could have been what we call aliens. I call it other life because it's another living creature, but I mean, it could have been something, yeah, it's a creature because we don't know what it is. So I mean, to it, whatever it is, we could be creatures. So I mean, other life could be living on the moon too. I mean, I don't really believe, honestly, that we're the only ones with life. We're the only planet with life. I really don't believe that. We never really looked the whole thing over. We never discovered and investigated the whole entire moon. It could have life. It could. I mean, for real. And look at this picture here, where some people have caught the random flashing lights. Those could be fallen stars. Because stars die. They die out after so many years. It takes a very long time for it to happen, but they happen, so it could be fallen stars. And the reason they're blinking is because, I mean, it's the stars. I mean, we don't really know how big a star is.
If something goes in front of it, it'll block the sunlight, so by the time it hits us, there'll be a gap in the light. And then that's why it'd be blinking.
Yeah.
The sun went in front of it thousands of years.
Right. This is a conspiracy of an apple behind the camera. He's given some thoughts to this in comments. So you can go ahead and, if you want to, you can go subscribe to his channel too. But it's like, there's no gravity in space. So what's holding the picture down? Like like in this picture here, what's holding this family picture down? You know, what's holding us astronauts down in space, holding that little tiny spaceship type thing in space? What's holding that stuff down? The gravity is pulling in every single direction in space. I mean, yeah, the gas is pulling you down also, but I mean, it's not just, so you'd be like everywhere. You'd be down, over here, up in space, you'd be like flying around the moon, like it's just not possible. So I mean, there's just no way that gravity could hold that, especially that little tiny weightless. If it were weightless, wouldn't that thing just be like just off in space somewhere? And look at this picture here. There's this artifact shown on this picture that we don't know what it is, but it was an astronaut figurine that we used in our studio. And it was to show the height between human and figurine too, to help be like, oh, it's true. But you see, if we would have used figurines, it would have been this small. But if you look at us humans, we're this big. But yeah, so it was used in the moon landing recording because they probably left it on the set. The set was probably found in some kind of garbage dump somewhere in New Zealand. Who knows where it was found? I mean, if it's still even at NASA, I mean, they probably threw it away because they were done with faking their, moon landing. And also, there's like supposedly some kind of lights being seen from the moon. I'm not talking about those like little blinking light things that we discussed earlier. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about other light sources being seen from the moon. But it's like the sun is the only light source after the moon. And the moon itself is a light source. So how are there lights even on the moon? How would we, it doesn't even make any sense. Like we can't walk on the sun because it's so hot, but that's a light source. We can't walk on the moon because it's a freaking light source. It's just a light source. That's all it is. We can't walk on it. If you look at this picture here, if there's these shards of like random rectangular glass mirror-like things, but those could be pieces of glass from either props used in filming the faked moon landing, or it could be doorways for other life uses to go from planet to planet, which is why we never really capture them on video or picture, because they're world traveling, not time traveling, because they're going from planet to planet, not through time. So those giant rectangular glass peace things. It could be world travel doorways for other life, and we never went close to investigating it because you can travel to a different world in there. That would be really scary. So we're scared of the unknown, so we don't touch it. There's like, this picture here is supposed to be the most famous UFO capture in history, but it's like, this picture here is showing that there's a UFO spotted on the moon just sitting there, but it could be where other life could be hiding what we call UFOs, and it could be proof of other life, because what that's their transportation. There's no way humans could survive on the moon, not even for a few seconds. There's just no way. I mean, just out of all this, there's just no way. And there's that question, who created, like, where the moon come from? Listen to Genesis, read Genesis. I'll put it right here.
Let there be light.
More light. We need more light, and more than just from me. I love light. Let's see. I know.
Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night.
You see what that says? Did you hear what that said? It said that God created the light from the moon. It says that God created the moon. Therefore, it was God that put it there. Not some kind of break off from a rock of some sort, no. It's a rock textured ball of light. Gravity is pulling in every direction in space, so the moon would be diagonal sometimes. I mean, because really, and it could be like in every direction possible, and there's other directions that we don't know because, like, we don't, like, have that high of intelligence to figure that out. So, it's in all directions, even in the freaking quantum universe. Sometimes, I guess. We can't be the only planet with life. We just can't. It's just impossible, really. Why is there other planets if there's no life on them? What's the purpose, you know? Like, wouldn't it just be a vast expanse of nothing with just Earth just sitting there and the moon and the sun, really? Why is there galaxies? Why is there other galaxies? Why is there other planets? Why is there a multiverse, you know? And why do they have their own moon? So, there's life on every planet. It's just that like, we could be on the other planet, but we're made for that planet. Just like how we're made for this one. The dark side of the moon is so different because it's a part we never explored. And the unknown scares us. We're too afraid to know the truth. And the cold traps that have been found on the moon could be from the sun flares, where it could make it hot, very hot at some points, and then when the sun flares die out and they go away, that's when the cold appears, because that could be from some space, just drafts of cold air or something. I mean, you don't really know. So it's never one temperature at one time. We may very well be trying to dispose earthly trash on the moon, causing things to be found in pictures and on Google Moon. Because the trash dumps, they're going somewhere. Rumpke trash dump is going somewhere. I mean, it just doesn't disappear to nothing after so many hundred years or something. I mean, it doesn't work that way. I mean, we're disposing of it somewhere. It's going up to the freaking moon, man, and that's when things are found and pictures found in Google News, you know. So really, out of all this, so the verdict is, it is proven fake by Stoner Theory.